Now I'm live? What the hell? Now that I've lost all my viewers, I'm live. Hi, Jen. I don't know if I'm going to get anybody back. I don't know what happened. I couldn't get the stream to go live. I had to start a new one. I don't really know what I'm doing here yet, I guess. Now I don't know if there's a way to message everybody to get them to come back in. Maybe I can Facebook them in. Let me just see. Crow Quill is there. Oh, thanks, Jen. I don't know how to do glide yet. Chris Ravenrose, hello. Oh, what a mess. I don't do these lives often enough to know what I'm doing, and I always just kind of muddle through, and it's always a big mess. Usually it works out better than this one did so far, but let me see if I can send Becca a note. And Sandra. And Simon. All right, now let's pop back. Anybody else? Just the three of us. Well, we'll see if they can find us. I told everybody I was abandoning ship, so I don't know what happened. So, December live. What a day. It's been a crazy day. It was raining all night last night. It was misty this morning, and I made the mistake of having made an eye doctor appointment the same day as my December live, which I didn't realize. And, you know, they put those drops in your eyes at the retinologist. And so my vision, my eyes were dilated. I couldn't see, you know, everything. And so I didn't know if I was going to be able to read anything when I got home. Is anybody still with me there, or have I lost you all again? Okay. Crow Quills had 2 days of freezing in Michigan. Crystal Ravenrose is there. Good. Jen is still there. Okay, good. Yeah, well, I shoot everybody away. Shoot everybody away, and then somehow came back, and now they're all gone. My mods are gone. Simon, Becca, and Sandra were here in two other windows that I closed. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get ready for the holidays in my polar bear shirt and my candy cane hat. Or this one looks a little more like a Christmas tree, I think, with 3 garlands. I also crocheted a garland for a tree, but I don't really have a proper tree to put it on this year. The last few years I haven't really had a regular tree. I've just had these like little ones, like this, which you can't really see, but it's got glitter all over it and it's resin. I really like this one. And then this one made out of felt that a friend of mine gifted me. And this little wood one, very minimal. And then this battery one, which you can't really tell, but there's like glitter jumping around inside and it changes color. But it's not really filming well here. You can sort of get a hint that it's changing color, but those are my trees. And I got in the mail a little deck of Christmas playing cards that I thought I'd share. I hope those are coming out. Are those coming out the right way around? No, I'm not sure with my streaming. Are you seeing those the right direction? Does that read properly? Yes? Okay. These are Christmas playing cards. I have a couple of tarot decks on order for the holidays, but they haven't arrived yet. But I'll show you these. They're festive. That's the backs. And here's the front. They're vintage images. Very much in keeping with, I don't know whether you saw a couple of months ago, I had gotten these Krampus playing cards, sort of the Christmas demon. And these just kind of, help put me in the spirit with some classic holiday images. I got this on Amazon, Christmas playing cards. It was only about $6, and I don't really use playing cards, but if you can divine with playing cards, you can divine with these. I don't expect the images are particularly intuitive, but they're quaint and festive. It's a nice one. Becca has mentioned that she is going to do a live on Christmas night for us Christmas orphans that aren't spending the holiday with family. And if I can get things sorted out, I'm thinking about doing the same on Christmas Eve. But we shall see. I mean, this month was sort of a bust. I don't know what happened. The borders look 3D. I'm not sure why that is. I sent away for the winter weight, which a lot of people saw last year on Simon's channel. But it looks like I might not get it till closer to the holiday. And there was another Christmas deck I sent for. I can't remember the name of it. It's actually sort of a storytelling deck. It's not, I mean, they're cards, but, and they're beautiful sort of almost vintage images of Christmas, but they're not really tarot cards or oracle cards. They have suggestions on the back for creating stories having to do with the holidays. But they looked really festive, so I thought they'd be nice to have. I ordered those from, I think, Book Depository, and I can't remember the name of them now, but they should be here before too long. And what else have I ordered? Oh, I ordered a pendulum and a pendulum board. So I'm looking forward to that. These look like antique Christmas cards. Crystal Raven Rose, you just had yours out last night. What did you have out last night? Oh, the Krampus cards? It's snowing quite hard here now in the city. It was misty this morning, raining hard last night. Oh, your pendulum and board. Yeah, I watched a really nice video by Hearth Witch. I don't know if you're familiar with her channel on using pendulums. And I think that was one of the first things I had, even before I had tarot cards back in the 60s. We had a Ouija board that my grandmother gave me and my sister. And then, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, there was this psychic. I don't think he was really a psychic. I don't know what they called him. Kreskin. There was this guy named Kreskin back in the 60s. and he had some kind of a kit that came out that had a pendulum, and I think it had some like ESP cards or something that you were supposed to test your extrasensory perception. It had a pendulum and a board, and I used that for a little bit back then. Me too, Crow Quill. But I was looking online the other day. For some reason, I wanted a wooden pendulum, and all the pendulums I saw were either metal or crystal. So I made a trip yesterday up to my local metaphysics shop, and they only had metal and crystal. So I went online last night and I found some wooden ones, which I don't really like to order that stuff online because you kind of need to handle it and feel it first and see how it's going to work for you. And the nicest ones were from someplace, I think, called the Glastonbury shop or something. I thought, oh, if it's in England, it'll take forever to get here. I won't even have it by the holidays. So I found another one that was closer that I ordered, and I don't know, when it'll come. But I found this great little board that came in 3 sizes, and the one I ordered was like 3 by 3 inch circle in wood, which looks interesting. I like little stuff anyway. I also wrote to Peggy Papez to see, I think I gave her an idea. I don't know if this is a new idea or not. She makes bags for tarot, and I said, and she embroiders them. I said, well, have you ever considered, or would you ever consider making Crow Quill says, what's a pendulum board? Pendulum board is kind of like the Ouija board. It's a little board that has yes, no, maybe. Sometimes they have more stuff like letters or numbers. But basically, it's a yes and no board, which you don't really need, I guess. If you just use a pendulum, you can ask it which direction are you going to swing for yes and which for no. And, usually yes is forward and back and no is left and right. Or sometimes they go in a clockwise or counterclockwise circle. According to Hearthwitch, you're supposed to ask the pendulum what it wants to use for which answer. But anyway, so they have these little boards that spell it out that you can use. It's like, got yes at the top and bottom and no at the left and right. And some of them have zodiac signs on them. Some have seasons or days of the week or numbers or letters. They can get really involved and really large. But anyway, so I was saying, would Peggy Papez ever consider, since she's already making tarot bags, to make a little bag to house a pendulum, but embroider on it yes, no, and maybe, so that when you lay the bag flat and take the pendulum out, you could use the bag itself as a pendulum board, which I thought was a neat idea. I don't know if that's a new idea, but it's something I thought of, and I suggested it to her, and she's considering it. I don't know if she will do it or not. Crystal Raven Rose, my board is a black velvet thick cloth. Hello, Shadows Truth. Signs to Soul. Jen left. Yeah, so I don't know if I missed Peggy's broadcast last night. She's doing her paranormal channel, and last night featured Bigfoot, and I was all ready for it, but when I subscribed, I forgot to forgot to click the bell for notifications, and I took a nap and fell asleep, and then when I woke up, it had come and gone. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about tonight? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of sorts today between this not really getting in gear and losing my followers and not being able to figure out whether they can even see that this is live somewhere. I think I may just cut this short, unless there's anything anybody wants to talk about or ask about. I did get in the mail today another deck that I ordered that I won on eBay. Well, I didn't win it. I think I bought it, where you can buy it outright. Musings by Masha. She borrowed it from a friend of hers named Lucy, and she showed a few cards over the weekend, which I liked. It's the Nigel Jackson Tarot, Medieval Enchantment, which came out, I think, in the 80s. And I really need to sage this deck. This is the first time I've ever bought a deck used, and I spent quite a bit of money. I think I spent $119, and with tax and shipping, I think it was more like $140, which is awful. But I spent even more a couple days later on another one that Simon showed that I bid for on eBay at the last few seconds, and I actually won the bid. And that one was $180, and with tax and shipping was $195. I can't believe I spent $195 on a deck. So I've spent, between $200 and $300 on 2 used decks in the last few days, which luckily I had a little windfall of money, so it's not really hurting my finances. But anyway, I'm having sort of second thoughts about this. The box is really beat to hell, and I really need to sage this deck. It comes in a little organza bag, and it's pretty good. The cards are a little bit warped. The book is really nasty. The book, and I don't generally use books much anyway, but I can tell by the inside of the back of the book, this was in somebody's house that had been infested by roaches or some kind of bugs, because there's icky stuff in the back, inside the back cover. And I'm kind of debating whether to just toss the book in the box and keep the cards. Except I don't know if I decide I ever want to resell it. Is it going to devalue them to a great degree to not have the book in the box, even though the cards are in great shape? They look like new, and the bag looks really nice. But the box and the book look really nasty. And I think it might put some people off if I did want to sell it. But the prices online were going pretty high. I mean, I got this for $119, and I hadn't seen anything listed for less than $229. So I mean, even though I spent a lot of money, I saved $100 on it. Maybe you'd like to see some of the cards. These are the backs, which I'm not real crazy about. I mean, and they're kind of oversized cards too. See if I can get you a comparable card. This is an average sized RWS, and you can see These are a little wider and a little taller. I am going to sage this deck. I went out and bought sage incense because it's a little tidier to pass the cards over sage incense than actual sage leaves burning in a cauldron or whatever. I probably burned my apartment down. So these are really, I like the art style on these. Walk you through it. That's the Fool. This is the Juggler instead of the Magician, which is different. I bought somebody's hair. The previous owner's hair is in here. Ew. I told you I need to sage these cards. Number 2 is the Popess instead of the High Priestess. I love the Empress. She has these sort of drawn out fairy-like eyes. The color palette is very pale. It's colorful, but pale. And I can't quite tell if these are watercolor, gouache, colored pencil. Not sure. That's the Emperor. The Pope. The Lovers. It has a really nice, delicate quality to it. The Chariot has 4 horses pulling the chariot. Justice. The Hermit. This kind of sold me. I like that kind of was a crooked man who walked a crooked mile sort of look of the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. And it looks like, I can't think what the name of the figure is that, I think it's the 3 muses that draw out cord and then cut the cord on Fate. The cardstock is average. It's good. It's not flimsy. It's substantial. Here is a very affectionate, they call this fortitude rather than strength. The Hanged Man. Death. This is sort of a strange death card, rather colorful. Temperance. I like Temperance. She's an angel and she's half white and half red. It's sort of like Snow White and Rose Red. The Devil. The Tower. Looks like the Tower of Babel. I love the color though. It's like this sort of pinky, orangey pinky color. The Star. I like the artwork when I saw this deck, which is why I got it. This is a very wicked looking moon. I like this sun though. Judgment is interesting. It looks very bright and fiery. the world. Now the Ace of Cups. The Two of Cups are mer people, which I have seen in other decks. Crow Quill likes the artwork. Three of Cups, three maidens dancing. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. I love the bird in this Nine of Cups. It's very fanciful with all the curly cues and the feathers. Ten of Cups. Dancing between the sun and the moon. Page of Cups. No fish. Knight of Cups. I don't know if these are coming out focused enough. They're very delicate images. Queen. King. Then we go to the wands, which they refer to as staves. And the Ace of Wands has the, I guess it's the air symbol. I think somebody said that this this deck switched the wands and swords designation, which I don't really mind because I don't really pay so much attention to the elements. I generally read from the images. This is a nice Four of Staves. I'm surprised they call these staves because they look like arrows. It's not, a stave is a staff, I believe, so I'm not sure why they are arrows. This is out of print. Sorry to get your hopes up, but if you like it that much, keep an eye out for it. Maybe one will make its way through the used arenas. Huh. Shadow's Truth. The more cards I see, the more I love them. Yeah. I really love the facial expressions. They're so drawn out and fey-like, very delicate. The Ace of Coins. Now the coins on these remind me of, I think I have another deck, I think it's called the Old English Tarot. They have coins that look just like these, that almost look like cookies or pies. I love this six of coins. It's an old woman feeding birds in the snow. A lot of outdoor scenes. Well, this one isn't. Eight of coins. It looks like he's measuring and counting his wealth. Nine of coins. Crow Quill says, yes, I like the faces, and I'm finding it increasingly important to me. I don't like those pudgy, childish faces with the big eyes in many decks. Yeah. Yeah, I see so many decks, and I tend to be drawn towards pretty ones. The pretty ones. Not to say that a lot of the ones that are shown aren't pretty, but they're more contemporary. I mean, these are more classically pretty. And the figures here, if you look at her face, her eyes, and the wispiness of the hair, almost gaunt features. This king looks like Shakespeare. And the swords. I can't quite tell. It looks like this might be male and female knights. So yeah, another thing is I like nice line work with color. And a lot of decks I see these days are more crudely done watercolors with no line work to speak of, which are almost seem improvised or they're very homemade looking. This looks like somebody who actually is an artist or has some art training, not to put a damper on anybody else's output, but this is interesting with these standing stones. Ooh, Nine of Swords. Look at that one. I guess that's a succubus or something. Ooh. And look at the devastation by the Ten of Swords. It's funny though, it's like fiery and orange and pink. It's not like, dark and usually you'd expect a desolate field to be black or dark blues. This one is bright colors. Yeah, so I've got to give credit to Masha and actually her friend Lucy, who loaned her the deck for the weekend. If I hadn't seen her do a walkthrough on her channel, I'd never have known about these. Apparently they were out in the 80s. And if you don't jump on these decks when they're available, they go out of print so quickly. Actually, I'm not sure let me check to see who the publisher is on these. Oh, it's Llewellyn. Well, and this says 2004, so it's not as old as I thought. It was $20 when it came out in 2004. Medieval Enchantment, the Nigel Jackson Tarot. Celebrate the magic of the Middle Ages. So what do you think, folks? Should I keep the book in the box or ditch them and just keep the cards in the organza bag? I'll keep you in mind, Crow Quill, if I decide not to keep them. But I'm going to want to make back my money at least. Let me live with them for a while. All right, folks. Well, I haven't quite been on an hour because I frittered away the first 15 minutes trying to figure out, oh, there's Simon. Simon, you just wandered in and found me. I still don't know what happened. I couldn't get things going, and then I just restarted a stream, but I kept trying to start the program stream and it wasn't working. And then I just went back and just hit, stream now, and it clicked right in. I don't know. I'm still figuring these things out. And I don't know what happened. I lost half my people, but you found your way back. I tried to send you a message on in Facebook to you and Becca and Sandra. Oh, the other one's still up? Well, I don't know. I'll have to take it down, but if I jump out of this one to do that, I'll probably lose this one. So I just showed Simon I had one. Well, I didn't win it. I bought it outright at eBay, the Medieval Enchantment Nigel Jackson Tarot, which I've just shown. And I think I'm going to do a separate walkthrough of these. But I saw these during a video of musings by Masha over the weekend. And oh, there's Sandra. And they look so nice. I decided I wanted them. And she said, of course, she'd borrowed them from her friend Lucy and they were out of print. But I found them on eBay and they were going for $119, which was $100 cheaper than I was seeing them for elsewhere. Still a lot of money, but I went and bit the bullet and I bought them. Of course, with tax and shipping, it jumped from $119 to $145. But there you go. And if you check this back later, Simon, I also did a walkthrough of Christmas playing cards, which are like vintage images of Christmas from the late 1800s, early 1900s. I won't put these poor folks through it again since I did it already once. I also showed some of my holiday hats and my Christmas trees and a garland that I crocheted and my polar bear sweatshirt. So, what I was saying, Simon, is the cards are beautiful. If you haven't seen these, they're really, I'll show you one card. They're really beautiful color and delicate. And the colors are wild. I mean, get a load of that Ten of Swords. It's like this barren sort of field of destruction, but instead of in black and dark blues, it's fiery reds and pinks. And this deck doesn't have a magician, it has a juggler. But I was saying I particularly love the kind of wispy, drawn out faces on these. Very delicate features. And the cards are a little larger than the usual size. They're about half an inch to an inch wider and a little bit taller. But this was my first used deck, and the box is really beat up. And I was telling the other folks, it came with the cards that came in a little organza bag, and the cards are beautiful. They're a little bit warped, but they'll adjust. I need to sage them. But the box is beat to hell, and the book and the box are nasty. There's like insect residue inside the back cover, like this was in a roach infested house or something. Yuck. And so I'm trying to decide whether should I keep the box and the book or just toss them and keep the deck. But if I ever want to resell the deck someday, the book and the box might be important. I don't know. Even though they look nasty, would people really want them at an eBay sale? I don't know. Because if I had just gotten this, I would have been perfectly happy without the book. And it looks really nice. And it looks like a well-loved and cared for deck. But looking at that box, it looks like it was in somebody's basement or attic or the back of a moldy closet. It's nasty. You think I should keep them? Maybe I'll just tuck it away somewhere. Shadow's True says I should ditch the book. Elle is here. Sandra always sages when she gets a second. I definitely am going to sage this deck. As soon as we get offline, I'm going to sage it. Take it to a printer and ask them to remake it new. No, I don't care that much about the books, actually. I think Simon's right. I'm just going to store it if I can find storage for it. I probably won't keep the deck in the box, though. The box is so nasty that when I look at it, it gives me the creeps and I don't want to touch it. So who wants that with a deck? Even if you sage it, you just kind of don't want to look at an ugly box. I'll stick it in some other box somewhere or a bag. What else can we talk about? I showed off my trees, my resin Christmas tree, which you can't really see is like encrusted with iridescent glitter. And my little felt tree. Sandra will appreciate this, I think. This quaint little felt tree with the button decorations that somebody gifted me. I think they got it at a charity shop. And you missed my crocheted garland that I made, which I don't have a proper tree to put it on, but it's festive. I was saying, you guys, Simon and Sandra, you're probably both busy on Christmas Eve. I think you're with family. Becca said she was going to do a live on Christmas night for us orphans. And if I can figure this mess out, I might do a live on Christmas Eve for the orphans that aren't with families. If I can get all my candy canes in order and my hot chocolate and my holiday attire. I was saying, Simon, I just ordered a pendulum and a pendulum board yesterday. You go away for 3 days starting Christmas Eve morning. Hi, Elle. I'm glad you love the hat. Croquill loves the crochet garland. Simon, how far do you have to go for Christmas? Cool, what stone? Oh, you mean the pendulum? Actually, I don't know. I have this wooden affinity. And all the pendulums I saw were either crystals or metal, and they just didn't do it for me. I thought, I'm going to go to my metaphysics shop and see if they have any wood ones. And of course, they didn't. So I went online last night. You have to go 20 miles. Sandra has a quartz crystal pendulum. So all the pretty wood ones that were turned that I saw were from the Glastonbury something or other shop. And I thought, Glastonbury, if I order from UK, it's going to take forever to get here. So I did find another one in the US that I ordered, which, I don't like quite as well, but it was pretty sort of kind of amber colored wood. And I found a company in California that made pendulum boards in 3 sizes, 3, 6, and 9-inch, I think. And I bought a 3-inch one. That's just a little flat wooden disc with, I think, burned into it yes, no, and maybe or something, which I thought was fun because I wanted something that I could store them both in a little velvet drawstring bag. In fact, I was telling the others that I sent a message to Peggy Papez, and I said, Peggy, have you ever considered, since you embroider these lovely tarot bags, making a little pendulum storage bag and embroidering a pendulum board on it? Just a yes, no, and a maybe on there, so that when you pull the pendulum out and lay the bag flat, you could use it as a pendulum board. And I don't know if this is a new idea or not, but she sort of liked the idea. And so she says, when she gets around to it, or she said that was on her back burner or her list of things to do or something. Yeah, you can get wooden ones. I think that maybe the issue with the wooden ones is the weight, because you want a nice weight to them, and crystals tend to be heavier than wood. I mean, there are some woods that are like harder woods usually are heavier. And so hopefully the one I ordered is a nice hard wood, but I don't know. But I love the idea of, something that looks like sort of an acorn or, some wood dangling over a wooden board that looks sort of like a cross section of a stump of a tree. And I got interested in it again. I was watching Hearthwitch, her channel, and she did an episode on pendulums. She didn't have any wood ones, but she was talking about how to use them and how to shop for them and so forth. And she did show a couple of pendulum boards that she had. Oh, I'm sorry, Shadow's Truth. Oh dear. Oh, Croquill. Everybody's having hard times. Do you have a picture, Robin? No, sorry. I do, but not that I can show because it's on my computer, and my computer is showing you me, so I can't have it flip around and show itself. Maybe I'll post one on my Facebook page or something. I'll definitely do a video of it when it comes, when it arrives. And I also ordered the winter weight and another Christmas deck that isn't Christmas cards or oracles, but it's sort of a storytelling deck with Christmas images. And hopefully those will both come before the holidays. I film from the bed and I film from the bad too. My videos are bad, Simon, because I'm just using a MacBook and the little photo booth thing, which actually is not that bad. I have seen worse. In fact, I shouldn't say it, but some of Donna's videos are blurry as hell, and I think she probably has better cameras than I do. I don't know what's going on with them. Sometimes they're crystal clear, and other times they're just like, she had one the other day, a live that I went on, and the sound was amazing, but the visuals were like really blurry and like sort of lagging in time. I thought, is it the stream? If it were the stream, wouldn't the audio be screwed up too? I don't know. But sometimes she films in her room and it's sharp, and sometimes when she films outside it seems like it's always sharp. So she said that the room was really bright and sunny, and I'm wondering, well, maybe it's the sunlight affecting the lenses or something. Maybe if she just put a curtain up when she did it, or did her videos at night, she'd have better results or something. Yeah, I know she's in the middle of nowhere, Simon, but wouldn't she have, and Sandra, maybe it's her internet connection. But if it were a bad connection, wouldn't it be bad sound too? Would it just be bad images? I don't know about this tech stuff. Obviously, I, got lost in it today. It takes her 20 hours to upload a 20-minute video. Oh my God. It takes me about 20 minutes to upload a 20-minute video. I'm still debating whether to invest in a better smartphone or a camera or something. But I still don't have a really good setup. Want to see my table that I do tarot on? A bed tray, a serving tray. Is it any wonder I only do 5-card spreads or 3-card spreads on my lap? I do actually have a round kitchen table, but it's covered with crap. I can't really sit at it and work. I'm really dying to find a new space to move to that I can, and hope it happens before you hit New York. I want all you people to come, like, see my place and stay with me and visit. But it ain't happening here. Simon, you would be mortified if you saw this apartment. It is such a cluttered mess. I say it's organized chaos, but it's filthy. It's dusty. It's like, what is it Quentin Crisp said? After the first 4 years, the dust doesn't get any deeper. What are the figurines behind me? Oh, I used to go to the flea market, and I call this my orphanage. These, I can't really grab one to show you because it's behind a plexiglass sheet that my Simon, your stepfather, I think, makes you shelves. My dad made me this. He was pretty good at woodworking. And these are like little adjustable shelves. And these are porcelain bisque dolls from, I think, the 1920s. That I found one at a flea market, and I thought, oh, isn't that quaint? And I bought it, and then I found another, and another, and another. And now I have like maybe a couple hundred. They don't even all fit in here. And but they all are little children that kind of look sort of lost or forlorn or confused or confounded. and they don't have like moving parts. They're just kind of like frozen stiff. Somebody referred to them as frozen Charlottes, but I found out that a frozen Charlotte is actually a different kind of little figure. But these are they are fired porcelain, bisque porcelain, but then they're painted. They're not glazed. And I don't know what kind of paint they use. Some kind of a bright, colorful enamel. It's hard to see them probably. But that's the thing. If I had a camera or an iPad, I could give you a better little tour of my, my collections in here. I have these elf dolls that I bought from Spain that are amazing that I can't even show. And there's all kinds of stuff. I have a lot of pendants that at some point I'll do a video of my pendant collection. And Cupies, no, they're not Cupies. They're sort of similar, but not quite. Yeah, Quentin Crisp used to live in New York, over in the East Village, about maybe 10 blocks from me. He was in like a little rooming house over there. Crow Quill has friends in Harlem she can stay with. She, he, I assume she. Crow Quill, I don't know your actual name. Where are you, Crow Quill? What city or state do you live in? Simon, I'm afraid to let you in my apartment here. I think you'd be mortified. Susan, Crow Quill is Susan. West Point. Wait a minute, isn't West Point in Pennsylvania? Michigan, right? Michigan. Susan's in Michigan? Frankfort, Michigan, small village 30 miles from Traverse City. Yeah, it's my apartment, I said the other day, it's 8 foot. From here to there is 8 foot. If it wasn't cluttered and I lay down on the floor, I'm 6'1". I could touch one wall with my toe and the other with my index finger. And it's about 23 feet long. I refer to it as the bus because I have shelving and stuff on both sides with one little aisle down the middle. And I also kind of refer to it as the tree house. Simon's coming to New York City, not this year, but the following year. And I'm already planning out a tour. I have all these places I want to take you and things I want to show you. My 2 favorite metaphysics shops. There's a wonderful shop down in Chinatown that has like all kinds of crazy things like singing bowls and Buddhas and China and incense and gadgets and great stuff. And there's another place here that I don't know whether you'd like or not. It's called Evolution. I think most of the stuff is probably artificial, but it's lots of skeletons and skulls and bones from people and animals. But I'm sure the people are artificial ones, and probably some of the animal ones are too. But they have, strange little, fossilized bones, and they have jewelry that they make out of like, insects and butterfly wings and stuff. It's a kind of a curious place. And I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that I get that spot in the artist's housing. Then I'll have a fresh start and actual furniture that I've purchased and lay out the place and have space to have guests come and stay with me, because I can't really put people up in this little closet, and it's filthy. And I love my neighborhood, though. I'm right off Washington Square Park in Greenwich Village, which is a famous old bohemian neighborhood. But my apartment's really a rat hole. And when I first moved in, I was lucky to get it for the rent that I did, but it was falling apart. And that was 2 landlords ago, and they never fixed it up, and it's still a mess. And when I moved in, I was unemployed, and then I got a job making minimum wage. And so I furnished it off of stuff I dragged in off the street, an old bed frame. And, actually, my computer camera is sitting on a pedestal table that I found on the sidewalk. It's sort of an antique, I guess. It looks like the kind of thing that you see in halls of old manors that a vase or a planter will be sitting on top of. But it's sitting right next to my bed, and it makes it really easy to jump up in the middle of the night in wakeful moments and jump online. And what floor? I'm on the 4th floor in a walk up. That's the other problem. As I get older, it gets harder and harder to go up and down 4 flights of stairs. 4 probably doesn't seem too much to you, but you're still young and spry. But, each year, I haven't really had much trouble with my knees, but, my back and my strength is not as good as it was. Only in New York. When I first moved in, my rent was $165. This was in 1978. And at that point, the East Village was a very scary place to be in. About 4 blocks to the east of here is Broadway and then Lafayette. Beyond Lafayette, it was like no man's land. It was like drug city over there. It was so scary. And I said, oh, no, I want to live in the West Village where it's very gay and very, hippie. And, even if I have to live in a shoebox, if I can do it over there, at least I'll feel safe. If I can get a place for under 200, I'll take it, whatever it is. And at that time, you really couldn't find anything west of Lafayette for under 200. And when I saw this place, it was an old Italian landlady, very mob grandmother kind of type. And she showed me the apartment, and it was a mess. It was a wreck. And she seemed a little bit ashamed too. She sort of asked how much the rent was, and she sort of sheepishly said, 165. And I said, I'll take it. Because my budget was set at 200. Anyway, it's rent stabilized, so the rent hasn't gone up that much over the years. Each time I get like the longest lease I can at the lowest rate. So now I'm finally at $619 a month, which, considering the size of the place, is still criminal. But considering what they're getting for rents in New York now is a steal. They're getting like $2,000 or more for this size space, and I'm paying $600. And because I'm over 62, I'm on the SCREE plan. It's Senior Citizen Rent Increase Exemption, which means if you're over 62 and you're on a fixed income or no income, they freeze the rent, and it can't be more than a third of your income. I have no income. So anyway, it's frozen at 619, and the leases go up, but the government subsidizes the balance of the increase in a tax write-off for the landlord. And I believe that even if what's double your rent? What I'm paying, $619, or the $2,000? I'm dying to know what you're paying. because you have an amazing space. I just assumed that it was like thousands of dollars a month. It's like a one bedroom with a living room, and I haven't seen whether you have a kitchen. Oh my goodness. Your rent's $345. I thought it was so expensive to live in England. That doesn't sound like very much. Two bedroom. Oh my God. How did you get that? How long have you been there? You know, I was thinking the other day, I really need to get on Glide with you guys. Except I'm not sure, is Glide dependent on your how much data storage you have? Because I have these phones for seniors. It's called the Jitterbug phone. It's really easy, but it's got like very little storage on it and no data. I use it with free Wi-Fi, and it's got like 40 megabytes of data. So I really don't. But it's got, I think, unlimited text and calls or something. But when I got it, I thought, I'm just going to use it where I have, cafes or wherever free Wi-Fi. I have Wi-Fi at home, so I don't need it. But I do find sometimes that I need, you know, more if I'm out and about, to get an Uber or something like that. 13, you've been there 13 years. Well, I've been here 40 years. Wow, Simon, I can't believe that. I don't know how you manage that. Um, yeah, the rents here are nuts. I don't know. I don't know how people do. If I lost this place, I don't know where I would live, in a box in the park or something. Because I've looked on Craigslist around the country, and even little towns in the sticks, I can't find places renting for cheaper than what I pay, $619. So I don't know. And the artist housing that I was going to move into, if I get it, it's a lottery. So who knows what my odds are on that. I have all my information submitted, and I hope I get lucky. It's in an artist building that has, and it used to be, I think, the old Bell Telephone building. So it was like old office spaces or something. But it's an elevator building, and they have like security in the lobby, which is nice. It's further west in the villages, over near the river. The neighborhood's not quite as nice. It's a little more desolate, but it's a couple blocks from a park, and it's not bad. I don't like the neighborhood as nice as here, but this neighborhood can get crazy with the tourists on the weekends. And that one, I think the cheapest ones they had, I think they were going like $1,000 to $1,400 a month for either studios up to one bedroom. I don't know if they had anything bigger than a one bedroom. But I thought, oh, if I can still keep my scree, then even with 1,000 a month, it might still freeze me at the 619, and the government would just pay the rest. Or if I have to pay 1,000 and then they pay above 1,000 with the increases, I'm okay with that. When I start collecting Social Security, I'll be making enough that I can manage that. Social housing, what's that? Are you in social housing, Simon? What happens to pensioners who can't manage? I guess they live in boxes, or they move back in with their children or something. I don't know. Our government associates socialism with Nazis, Simon. They kind of do. Except we have Social Security. I've been delaying Social Security because the longer you delay, the more you get. You actually can start collecting it at 66, but they they moved the retirement age. I think originally it was 65. Maybe it's 64 you can collect. I can't remember. But they moved it up to 67. And now I think full retirement is at 70, I believe. I'm not sure. But above 70, you can't get any more. And so I'm kind of living off savings in a retirement account that I was wise enough to put aside money into. And also I inherited a little bit of money from my mom when she passed. But yeah, if I had collected Social Security when I first retired, I would have got about $1,627 a month or something like that. Currently, I think it'd be like somewhere between $1,700 and $1,800 a month. And if I wait till 70, it'll be between $2,300 and $2,400 a month. So I mean, it's like an extra $500 or $600 a month, which is nothing to sneeze at, you know. Simon is not in social housing. It's half owned by the mall company and half by the associate. But you rent. You didn't buy it, right, Simon? Are there homeless in Nottingham? Do you have homelessness? You sold up when you divorced. Oh, I forgot whether you, I don't know if you answered me. I should scroll back about the Glide issue. Can I do Glide on a regular phone? It probably, you make little videos, so it probably uses up a lot of storage to hold the video, right? Regardless of the data for streaming. I'm not sure if I can do it on my phone because with the handful of apps I have now, I have my storage almost all used up. Yeah, I know. It's an app. I downloaded the app and that kind of ate up some of my storage. No storage is used. Wonder how that works. Maybe does it like as soon as you record a Glide, does it like upload it to the cloud or something? Well, you might be getting a Glide from me one of these days. I know months ago I asked you for your number, and if I can figure out how to do it, it goes to the cloud. Okay. Well, I'll give it a try. Do any of you guys use I don't even know what the name of it is. On Facebook messaging, I'm pretty sure it's standard. You know, there's a little video camera thing in the messaging box. You can actually do FaceTime. I don't think it's called FaceTime, but it's like video chats on Facebook. Did you guys know you can do that? Crowquill just downloaded Glide yesterday. Haven't figured it out yet. Sandra's never used that. It's so easy. You can't do video chatting. Oh, you don't do video chatting. It's not you can't, you just don't. Is there a reason for that? I use Glide. When you first told me about Glide, I thought it was video chatting. And then I thought, gee, I'm not really sure what the purpose of Glide is. It's sort of like mini YouTube or something, because you're like creating a little video, but it's private just for an intended party. So you're not really talking in real time. It's not like you can have an actual conversation. I'm always caught off guard. Oh. Okay. Do you and Becca talk on the phone, or you only glide? I know some of you probably do chat quite often, like you and Kelly Bear and Becca, and it's like a text message only in video format. You reply when you can. Yeah. Crow Quill says, Simon, you don't have to worry about your hair. Oh, you just glide with Becca. Becca is such a natural. She is so comfortable. I love when she lets us into her little private world of her area. I mean, I love her little house and everything. But that one she did the other day of the walk with the dogs through the woods is so lovely. And she said something about her groceries arriving. And I know she doesn't have a car. It's kind of a weird situation, I think. I guess she lives in a little village, but I'm wondering, I think you did have a video of a visit to her where you guys were in her local town at a cafe or something. But I'm dying to have her do a video of her walking from her house to the village to buy some groceries and maybe shop in the grocery store. I just want to see, shopping with Becca, what that's like. Groceries can be delivered here. Do you have a grocery near you, Simon? L, right? Robin, she's such a pro. You get yours delivered too? God. I have a grocery 2 blocks away, and I carry mine back and forth, even up 4 flights of stairs. They do have a delivery service, but I was thinking about signing up for it with the 4 flights, and they said, well, they deliver to my building, but they wouldn't carry them up the 4 flights. Well, what's the point? you know, I can wheel them to my building, but it's a little town. I love the idea of little towns. I mean, my mom's place was within a 1 mile walk of a couple of shopping centers that I could go to. And I considered at some point, moving from the city back there. But I thought, I'd be totally cut off from everybody in my own little hermit world. And the older I get, I wouldn't have use of a car anymore. And even 1 mile is a bit of a trek to walk to the grocery. And I don't think they have delivery there. So here I am in the city. Everything is within reach. And I would like to live in a smaller town that I could just walk to local shops, and maybe the end of town is a little trolley or a train that I could take into a metropolis if I felt the need. Because the village here does have a very villagey feel, but it's still a lot of people. Nothing like Midtown, like you all are used to seeing on, videos of New York City, Times Square, and on New Year's Eve and all that stuff. I'd go crazy if I had to live like, in that neighborhood uptown. But down here, I'm a block and a half from a big park, the Washington Square Arch, and there's another little private park around the corner. It's nice to have the trees. City living is really convenient. Sandra, do you live in a little town too? Sandra's apartment house, I guess it is. Looks like a little cottage or something. I don't know if I've seen that from the outside. Sandra, you should do a little walk to town video. Do you live in a little thatched cottage? See, I'm such an Anglophile. I have this notion that everybody lives in these little Tudor houses or with thatched roofs or something. And I would love that. I would love to live in a little cottage. Simon, how far are you from the nearest pub? You probably are not too far in the city. It would be a walk to the local shop. Nearest town is a bus or car journey away. Oh, Sandra, do you drive? Next door, horse neighbors. L. Oh, L has horse. I thought you were talking about the pub next door was called Horse Neighbors. Shadow's Truth got frostbite. You gotta wear thicker socks and better boots. L, do you live in a villagey area too? Oh my God, she can feed horses from her garden. Hmm. Oh my goodness. Sandra, I don't know how you do it. Well, you still have family to help, right? I think you and Becca both have parents that like sometimes bring you groceries and things. See, I can't. At some point, I decided I had to not have to depend on other people. I had to be self-sustaining. And that's the one thing about New York that, there's delivery services and everything's, within walking distance. My favorite laundrette downstairs moved, and now I have to lug my laundry half a block away. It's down the block. It's still a nuisance, down 4 flights of stairs and half a block. And you can't do it there. It's a drop off service and pickup service, and they don't do delivery. But L's in a little village, Cambridgeshire. Sounds quaint. 3 pubs, but no supermarket. Sandra's mom lives 5 minutes away. It's so homey. 2 minutes to a pub. Who's 2 minutes to a pub? The closest pub 2 minutes away is a gay pub. Not very nice, though. Yeah, I moved to the city partially to be part of the gay community, but I realized when I got here there's no such thing as the gay community. It's a lot of different communities, and there's a sort of a stereotypical aspect to it. I never was very comfortable in a lot of the bars. Then in the 90s, I discovered it's a whole different scene in the East Village to the West Village. The West Village was very much everybody wanted everybody to look just like them. It was all like mustached leathermen kind of thing. The East Village was all like poets and writers and artists and hippies. And some of the bars were mixed too. In the West Village, it was like either lesbian bars or gay men. In the East Village, they had some that, all were welcome at. And what a nice mixture. That was really nice. And so I started going over there for happy hour. I lost a lot of weight too, actually, because I could nurse a cider for 4 hours. And I just go in there for happy hour and hang out and talk to people and it was a good long walk. It was about 17-block walk there and home. And so I lost a lot of weight. There's only a few hundred people in L's village. 7 pubs. Oh, they used to have 7 pubs. Oh, Sandra sees fields out her window. You gals and guys need to do a walk around town or a walk around my neighborhood thing video. I should talk. I just don't have the right camera for it yet, or I would. Simon, you should do one sometime. Well, I know you have done, I think you did do one or two walking around Nottingham, but I would love to see you do one like walking out your front door and maybe shopping at the mall. Have you done one in the crystal shop downstairs? Simon, did you live on a farm in the UK or was this in the States? You were in Utah, right? I have to look for that, Simon. Maybe you'll send me a link on Facebook. Hmm. I filmed one taking the camera from my desk to the crystal shop. I can't remember if I saw that one or not. Did you say in the UK you were on a farm? Did you say you have a long way to go to get groceries, or do you guys go to like open air markets? We do have some farmers markets here, but they're not real nearby. Elle, I don't think that's where the cow thing was it, Simon? With I thought you were traveling when with a friend when you got run down by cows. Utah. Wait, in Utah was where the cow incident happened? You have a supermarket downstairs. See, and that would be, it probably would be boring to you, but it would be fascinating to us in the US to see what kinds of groceries are in UK supermarkets. We have, I mean, I go to a little grocery store around the corner called Morton Williams, and they actually have a little UK section, which is interesting, that has, like Marmite and what's that other stuff that you're always talking about? I forgot the name of now. And like all these jams and biscuits. You know what I've been looking for forever, and I don't think they exist, was I used to watch one of my favorite shows was As Time Goes By. And the husband on that one, yeah, they have mint sauce. The husband on that one used to get these cookies called custard creams. And I've been dying to find those custard cream cookies. Well, the ones they have here, they look like sandwich cookies with, icing in the middle. It doesn't look like custard at all. So I don't know what custard creams are, or if that was just a fictional thing. Sandra says they do exist. Oh my God, with Judi Dench. I love Judi Dench. Can't beat a custard cream. Oh, Simon. Oh, that's right. You can't eat them. I was going to say, Simon, please, on one of your cuppas, eat a custard cream so we can all have a vicarious thrill. I want to see a custard cream. That's all they are? You mean the ones that I saw are custard creams? It's like a vanilla cream sandwich cookie? But it looked like when he had them on the show, they looked kind of like little tarts or little pies. Maybe I wasn't looking very well. Oh, well, that's disappointing. Maybe I'll buy them and see how they are. I mean, we have over here Nabisco, the National Biscuit Company, makes a variation on them. It's like a, do you have Oreos in England? It's like a sort of a vanilla Oreo. It's like almost like a shortbread cookie or a tea biscuit, sort of with vanilla cream in the middle, white cream in the middle. They're quite boring. Chocolate bourbon biscuits. You have Oreos. Some of my favorites. Oh, I'm going to show you one of my favorites. We have here, made by Nabisco, these things called Malomars, which I don't know if you know what Malomars are. It's like do you know what vanilla wafers are? It's like a sort of a vanilla, almost like a shortbread cookie with marshmallow on top, and then the whole thing is dipped in chocolate. But they're really expensive, Malomars, like $6 a box or $7 a box. However, Canada has a brand called Dare that makes these things called Whippets, pure chocolate Whippets. And these are the same thing as Malomars. It's just the Canadian version, and these are like $3 and change versus $6 or $7 a box. These like chocolate coated marshmallow with I shouldn't be showing Simon these. I know that he has a menu plan that he sticks by. Tea cakes. Is that considered a tea cake? Pistachio Oreos. Ooh, I haven't even heard of that. Can you eat it on camera? I can't find them here. Yeah, all right. I don't have two. Oh, there's two left. Oh, and this one's cracked. It doesn't look very nice when I bit into it, but you can see there's cookie in the bottom and soft marshmallow on top and chocolate on the outside. It's almost like we have this treat in America. I think it's an American thing called s'mores. And I believe it was invented by the Girl Scouts on camping trips, where they'd roast marshmallows on a stick over the fire. And when they were really soft and warm, they'd put it on a graham cracker. I don't know if you know what graham crackers are. And then a chocolate Hershey bar. You have Hershey bars over there? I love Hershey bars. Some people hate the Hershey chocolate. It's got a very definitive taste to it, but it's kind of my favorite chocolate. I don't like Cadbury chocolate at all. Golden Grams. You have Golden Grams? I'm not real big on graham crackers, although graham crackers are really good with butter spread on them, dunked in tea with milk. Really good. You have to get them in and out quick so they don't melt. Hershey's are only in the American section. Then we have Nestle's too, but I don't like Nestle's as well as Hershey's. Hershey is from Pennsylvania. They have a Hershey theme park and everything. I've never been, but Ovaltine, that's Crow Quill's chocolate fix. Digestive biscuits. Graham crackers aren't digestive biscuits. We have something, well, those, I don't know what they call them here. The silhouettes. It's like they have this thing. It's like a vanilla Oreo sort of, and the biscuit part of it, the cookie part of it, is like a tea biscuit. We do have tea biscuits here, or digestive biscuits. I can never get over how you guys always refer to cookies as biscuits, you don't. Do you even have cookies over there? Is there such a thing as a cookie? Ovaltine. Reese's is your all-time favorite. Reese's is good. That's good chocolate. I don't know who makes their chocolate. I like Reese's peanut butter cups. But they have here now the thin Reese's, and they also have mini Reese's mini size cups and Reese's Pieces. And for me, there's something about the proportion of peanut butter to chocolate that only kind of works. Well, it sort of works in the mini cups, but in the regular size peanut butter cup. The others don't quite do it. The thin ones aren't quite right. The Reese's Pieces don't do anything for me. I used to have a fanzine I did in the 80s or 90s rather. It was just a two-sided sheet of 8.5-inch by 11 paper, and it was called Quirky. And it was record reviews and weird obituaries and recipes. Weird, strange thing. It was just 4 pages. And all my record collection, all my CDs, I would do little reviews, and I had such eclectic taste. And then I would put my recipes in there. I wasn't much of a cook. And obituaries, I would go through the cast-off newspapers, or if I saw stuff online or somewhere that was, somebody died in some unusual way, or it was somebody famous who died, I would write a little, obituary. But the recipes, I came up with this recipe, and you're all welcome to steal it from me. I call it S&M salad. And what it is, I don't know. Tell me if you have these candies over there. You have M&Ms? M&Ms is a little chocolate-coated candy that has an M on it. It's like a hard shell coating with chocolate inside. Then we have another one over here called Skittles, which looks like an M&M with an S on it. And that is the same hard shell coating, but has a tart kind of taffy or chewy tart inside. Now what I do is I take a bowl and I pour in Skittles and M&Ms and stir it around, and I make S&M salad. And you take a handful of those and you get chocolate and the tart at the same time. It's so good. It's kind of like chocolate covered raisins, but it's more tart than chocolate covered raisins. Cookies are soft and doughy. Biscuits are hard and crunchy. Well, that's good to know. Now, do you distinguish between biscuits and crackers? Are crackers always savory, or do you have such a thing as a sweet cracker over there? Because our crackers here, well, graham crackers, now that I think of it, that's about the only cracker I can think of that is sweet. The rest of them are all savory. Yeah, peanut M&Ms are the bomb. I'm not big on peanut M&Ms. They have so many different kinds now, though. Some of them have hazelnut spread in them. Some of them have mint. Some have different kinds of nuts. Oh, sorry, Simon. I'm keeping you up. It's 11 p.m. I know we got out of the usual stuff. I'm treading Becca territory now, just like ambling all over the place, talking about food and recipes and neighborhoods and all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, Sandra has to go too. And I think there's only about 3 or 4 of us left in here. So anyway, it's 6 o'clock here, and I started at 4 o'clock. So it's a good time for me to hang up the line and call it a night. I'm glad you all found your way to me after my mishap, and I hope to do this on Christmas Eve, and if not, then first Monday in January. So see you soon, and look out for my walkthroughs. Bye-bye.